I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where my kids' needs aren't met. I'm not going to do it. It's like, well, Meri showers just better. I'm like, I don't care, because what you're saying is I don't matter. I mentioned it a lot over the years, and he didn't change it and didn't change it and didn't change it.
And so what I see Christine doing is that she twists the past experiences that we've had to a negative place, and that's the reason she's not wanting to be in one home.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday, April 27th. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just finished up some content on Anna Duggar and freedom of speech, and it was almost like we did a civics class together, which, y'all, sometimes I get so nerdy about teaching things. I'm not even really a teacher, but sometimes I like to go to my little law pages and tell you, like, this is what things actually mean. So sometimes it's all about, like, let's talk and learn at the same time. It's my channel. Let's do these things. What we're going to talk about in this video has to do with the Browns, Kody Brown, Robyn Brown, Meri Brown, all the Browns. It's going to be a Brown Lollapalooza, extravaganza. So Paedon Brown recently did a Q&A. I did a recap of his Q&A where we talked about the divorce, buying out of Coyote Pass, Janelle and Cody's status of their relationship, his thoughts about Robyn, so much.
Yes and no. I mean, there was a lot of hesitation to, and there's always a lot of hesitation to a new wife coming to the family that's been established for, I think Logan was 15. Logan was 15. The oldest child was 15 when Robyn came into the family. That's a big deal. Mom was married to dad before Logan was born.
Should I get the puppet out of my...
One thing that Paedon has been pretty open about, and some of you guys just really don't like him. I was surprised by the comments. So many of you are like, oh my gosh, he reminds me of Kody, or he's just so arrogant. You know, he's a young kid that's just getting, like, situated in the real world, and I think in many ways is just sort of figuring out what he likes and what he wants, and, you know, finding his own voice. And so I'm not necessarily, like, annoyed by Paedon. I think he's learning, like all of us learn, what to share, what not to share, and, you know, maybe feeling like for years and years and years he couldn't share, so it's like this, like, floodgate. And I feel like maybe that his strained relationship with his dad is a part of that reason, because he was very clear that his relationship with his dad is very unstable. In fact, he said that his dad reached out to him when he wore that nanny shirt and blew up at him because he thought that he was making fun of Robyn. One thing that a fan asked in this Q&A was about, why are Kody and Robyn not on social media anymore?
Why?
Robyn and your dad are no longer posting on social media.
Haven't been for a while.
That's okay. They don't need to share everything. They already have a TV show.
Yeah, they are. They were done with the hate that they were getting, because they were getting a lot of hate. Most of Robyn's kids are not very active.
Where'd you get the Christ picture on the wall?
This is a question I have been wondering forever. Ever. So here's the thing. 2 seasons ago, Kody Brown was always retweeting and tweeting during Sister Wives. This past season, not a single family member of the Brown family used Twitter to live tweet. Live tweeting, while I don't love Twitter, I like the live tweeting that happens because it's always so fun to see, like, their reactions, watching the video, watching the show with the fans, and then the fans' responses. It has given very comical moments where Kody will get feisty with someone, or Robyn will clap back, or the 2 sister wives will, like, snap at Kody at the same time. To me, I always found it entertaining to watch the actual live tweeting as it was happening. So when they stopped live tweeting, like, this last season, I was so sad. Christine has not live tweeted in 2 years, okay? And I had a feeling leading up to this last season that Kody might not do anything because this season wasn't going to go in his favor because Christine was going to leave. So Kody is rarely on social media anymore. In fact, His tweet, he tweeted on November 2nd of 2021, which was about Christine's decision to leave. And then he retweeted someone about batteries, lithium batteries, on March 13th. And on April 15th, he liked a tweet by Ben Shapiro that said, the fact that everyone on the left is going absolutely nuts about Elon Musk demonstrates three things. Twitter is a left-wing site. The left is filled with censorious jerks, and they like oligarchy when they're the oligarchs. Okay, so he is a conservative fundamentalist. We shouldn't be surprised by that, okay? So he doesn't tweet anymore. In fact, the last time he tweeted about the show was, I think, in 2021. In fact, July 15th, 2021, when they talked about COVID on the show. So a fan asked Paedon why Kody stopped going onto social media and why Robyn no longer interacts on social media. And it's simple. Kody quit social media because of the hate. And Robyn quit social media because of the negative comments. Isn't that interesting? Very, very. Because, mind you, their platform and their show's success in a large part is dependent on their activities on social media, because social media is what keeps people engaged during the off season. It's what keeps people like with a carrot of, oh, I saw this happening or this is happening. It gives you clues of what's going to happen in the upcoming season. You get some ideas about the inner workings of family. You get excited and you can follow along when they're not on TV. I know there's always this lull between when Sister Wives is on and when it's not. And I see it every season that I cover it, is like people get so eager for the next season to happen that they get so static in like, why aren't I not seeing any more tea? What's happening on Sister Wives? Why aren't they tweeting? Why aren't they saying anything? What's going on? You know, and you wonder, like, why isn't Kody using this as an opportunity to drum up excitement for the upcoming season? Even if he's getting hate, who cares? Like, you have a platform on TLC where you're getting your own show, your own mug on that channel 1 hour a week during how many episodes, and you can't take a little heat online? My goodness, you can just block the negative comments, right? I'm certain that Kody has positive comments he gets even in the midst of all of that negativity. And I'm certain that there are people that actually like Robyn, even though a lot of my subscribers don't like her. There's plenty of comments in here of people that support her and say that, you know, she's just misunderstood.
I was still trying when I was where she's at. I love Christine, and I have always wanted her and Kody's relationship to be strong, always.
I'm always divided on Robyn, and you guys know that. You know I'm divided on all of them. Like, sometimes I like Meri, and sometimes I like Robyn. I always like Christine, and I always like Janelle. But I don't always like Meri, and I don't always like Robyn, and I mostly never like Kody. But that's my opinion. Like, there are people out there that probably think that Kody is the bee's knees, right? So I don't know why. And Robyn, for as much as she can dish it on the show, and as for much as she can like put all herself out there and criticize her sister wives and make her statements made, she doesn't seem to be able to take the feedback very well. I honestly believe that if Robyn was more approachable to fans, if there was a way for fans to see the more personal side of her, where she's not the way it's portrayed on the show, and you didn't see like the negativity of the sister wives fighting, maybe you would see a side of Robyn that makes you like, oh, I really like her. You know, Meri has a very off-putting presence on the show at times, but because of her social media, because of her silly Friday nights with friends, because of her inspirational posts that she puts on her social media, some fans love her. They don't love her for what's on the show. They love her for who she's on social media. You know what I mean? Like, social media could be a place for Robyn to create her own sort of nest. Because she always says that she's like the bird, right? Her own nest of followers that support her. I actually think she does a disservice to her by giving in to the negativity. if you allow that to win, you're taking away a spot where you could actually show you. Why not you show us? I might have positive things to say if Robyn actually showed me something about her on her social media. You know what I mean? That's just my 2 cents. So giving in to hate is just not something I believe in, just because, listen, I get a lot of hate. I know it. Anyone with a public platform gets hate. There are always going to be critics of every single person. So no matter what happens, you can either choose to just give in and be like, this is toxic and I want nothing to do with it, or you can block out the hate and focus on the content and the people that love you. You don't have to read the negative comments. Heck, you don't have to even read the comments. You could just post and be personal. That's just my opinion. But Cody and Robyn, like, throwing in the towel based on hate just seems like an easy way out. Like, it's so easy for them to put themselves out on the show, but then if you give them feedback, they don't want it. I don't know. Like, can you have it both ways? They're the only people that do this too. Like, most people on reality TV actually show you themselves offline. A lot of you, for instance, love some of the Duggar girls because of how they are on social media, right? Like, I used to be so critical of Jill Duggar. I used to say things like she could have as many kids as she wants, and I used to think that she had an oppressive marriage, and that was 3 years ago. And today I watch Jill, and I've seen her grow, and I've seen her change, and I've seen her develop her own personality, and I've seen she's coming into this amazing woman, and I'm like, I like Jill. My perception of her was based on what I saw on the show, but then when I saw her on social media, she was different, right? Why don't you show us that side of y'all? That's what I want to see, Cody and Robyn, please. All right, and finally, Meri Brown is back to being Meri Brown and posting all that goofy stuff on her social media. She has made a comment about how Cody has put her through hell. Well, that's sort of like that's the thing. So she posted a story on her Instagram that says, "Today they will call you lucky, assuming you've had an easy, privileged life. But you know you're blessed because you know every bit of hell and high water he's brought you through." Now, this is probably about God, and it's probably just like an inspirational quote. She's a MLMer that posts all these inspo stuff all the time to get her downline pumped up. But I do think she has been through hell, and she's probably continuing to be through hell because she's indoctrinated to believe that she has to stay with Cody, which she shouldn't have to stay with Cody. But y'all, I have to tell you, I figured out the moment when everything changed for Cody and Meri. Season 7. Cody shuts down Meri and says that he doesn't want to have any more kids with her after Meri has been wishy-washy about having kids. And they go to an IVF place and they talk about, are they going to have a baby? And they're all over the place about having a baby. And then finally she says, well, what do you think? And he says, I think no. And then Meri's all, I don't know how to even handle this information. Like, she went through an identity crisis because her whole life had been built on having kids, because in their indoctrinated beliefs, having kids is how you contribute to the kingdom. So when she got her kingdom shut down, I think she got depressed. And I think that's ultimately what ended their marriage. I think they had disputes. I think they didn't get along. I think there was jealousy. I think him having 3 wives or mistresses in her eyes, because she was the legal wife, also contributed to it. But I think that was the defining moment for Meri when things stopped being good. What are your thoughts about that? And what do you think about Cody and Robyn quitting? Do you let the haters win, or do you keep on trucking? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.